Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the Brazilian Grand Prix, round 8 underway already. It's looking like a decent race. We don't actually know the weather quite yet, but what I can tell you is it is a sprint race. So we will be restarting after the sprint race, not after quali, after the sprint race. So it's going to be full pelt in this qualifying session right here, on board with Peanuts in the Alfa Romeo reserving on the F1 tier. So is Gilly, Devon Young, PJ Tom Brainer as well. And Sidewinder returns for the first time in a long time as a permanent driver. It is great to see them here today, so well done. Luke, unfortunately, has disconnected from the lobby, which means that AI has retired their car automatically. Because why doesn't that not make sense? I don't know. But anyway, he has set a lap at least, and there is a sprint race, so it's not the worst race for this to happen at. Peanuts across the line. What's it going to be for the Alfa Romeo driver? And it's going to be a P4 just behind their teammate, or just in front of Heichler. But they are still a little bit behind their teammate. They've got a little bit more to find. 9 minutes on the clock, so we still have time left in the session. And he should be able to get a nice attempt at going a bit quicker. We're on board with Heichler, as he is not perfect on energy, but I think you have to really kind of activate the ERS quite early on in the straight, and it does drain your battery a lot, so you've got to be careful around this circuit. It can really make things incredibly difficult battery wise. But Heichler so far looking pretty tidy. Can he try and punch for the top spots? That is the question. We'll go through the middle sector with the McLaren up the hill. Very nicely done, right to the line. Down the hill we go now. Swinging out on the rear a little bit with the traction. That is nicely done. What you want, kind of. Not too much, but not too little. Got the car rotated well through there on the throttle. Open up the corner, open up the steering, and then across the sector line. And it's going to be half a second improvement at the moment. Can he get it together? He can. So he's just going to have to wait until he gets to the line now. It's only a matter of time. 0.3 seconds, that should be a 0.8 somewhere. Can he beat Luke GDI? And he can go even faster, and he can beat Zingy. 6/10 improvement. That's absolutely perfect. Well done indeed. A 7.6 for Heichler there. Zingy is on his way to try and beat that once again. Can he get it done? This is the championship leader that we're on board with now. Across the line, and they're not really opening up the corner. They're just kind of taking a normal line. It doesn't lose you or gain you that much time, so should be absolutely fine. Anyway, first sector, first few corners looking absolutely rapid there. Full commitment from the AlphaTauri. Awesome job from him across the sector line. Even after the first sector, he's pretty much dead on. Maybe suggesting that he actually did a pretty good first sector last time. Did he mess it up anywhere else, or has Heichler just done a pretty good job? I think he's done a pretty good job, to be honest. Up the hill, Zingy goes, slight lift, probably not too much off the brakes, if at all. Slightly missing the apex there. And then he got a bit squirmy on the exit, as he probably got a bit frustrated with himself. And unfortunately, that is going to be Zingy's lap finished, so he's probably going to go into the pit lane and come back out very, very soon. As soon as he possibly can, really. Becken, they're on a lap, it seems. They're dead on their time as well. Looking pretty good for these guys, both Becken and Peanuts, of course. They are teammates, or they are friends, not teammates in the EU tier, so they're going to be working together well today. And not that they should be working at least together in qualifying as teammates in the EU tier. They are definitely going to be making it a little bit more respectful between the two. Now, final few corners to go. We'll go around the sector line here. What's it? At the top right, it's down, unfortunately, so he will not be completing this lap. If he's going to complete it, he would be going again. But he's not. He's going into the pit lane. Eager Pro, he is on a lap as well. No, he's not. He's on an in lap, so he will be coming into the pit lane. And we will find out what he can do a little bit later. Recently put himself up to P5's Gilly up to 6th, Nifajan to 7th as well all pushing down the Alfa Romeo from earlier on, where they were right behind their teammate Niffo going into the pit lane. And then we've got Devon Young. Devon Young is on a lap. Are they on a lap? We don't know. No, they're not on a lap. They're on an in-lap, so they have set at least one. They're not going to be getting too far up the front if they want to set that lap time. Obviously, they could get pushed down by the rest of the field. Lots of people in the pit lane. In fact, Devon Young is the only car out on the circuit. This would have been a perfect opportunity to set a nice clean lap without anybody disrupting you. Is that an Alpha Tauri on their way out, or even a Red Bull on their way out? I'm not entirely sure. No, I'm just seeing things that must be. Never mind, it was wishful thinking that we'd get another car out on the circuit. We're just going to have to wait. That is a Haas. That is Tom Brainer on his way out already. So we will go and check it out with him. Pit lane exit, that's something to look at. It's very, very tricky. You've got to be careful. You want full commitment, but you do have to try and discipline yourself with the throttle pedal. Otherwise, you will call it a day very, very early on. Pit lane exit on legality-wise, as long as it's safe and you don't get a warning by the game, it's fine. If you get a warning by the game, unfortunately, that is going to be on you. But as long as it's safe, you are allowed to cross the pit lane exit line. Not the entry, though. The pit lane entry line. The white line is okay, but after the thin white line, when it starts to get thicker, you can't cross that. So you've got to be very, very careful. And, I mean, many of the drivers should know what they can and can't do by now. So I'm not gonna say any more, because otherwise my words might be twisted. Alright, 3 minutes to go, and qualifying will start with Tom Brainer in the Haas. And you can see the kind of, is it a horizon or even sunset? I'm not entirely sure. In this qualifying session, the sprint race will be very, very shortly, and we'll see the weather conditions and the time change later on. We do not have any confirmation yet, though. Alright. Through the first sector, through the first few corners, what is it going to be on their Delta as they're going to the right hand side? They've got a car just drifting completely to the right of the circuit, not paying attention. That would have been PJ in the Alpine there. He's very, very lucky that that didn't go any further. And Tom Brainer is improving, but he's going to be a little bit distracted after that one. You can tell as he goes a little bit wide there, unfortunately. He's going to try for us to complete the rest of the lap. He should still improve. According to his first sector, though, I think this should be okay. Little bit of a lock-up, unfortunately, on entry, and then didn't quite get the car rotated in the correct way on the exit. Just a bit of an over-rotation, if you like, just kind of overworking the corner. Half a second up still. Can he try and beat Sidewinder? Can he try and beat PJ? Could he even get to Devon Young in these closing stages of qualifying? We will find out. Tom Brainer across the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be a P10. He will not get Devon Young, but he does get PJ in the end. PJ will have another go. Sidewinder, I think it's going to look a little bit more difficult. He's not out the pit lane yet. It's probably going to be too late for him, unfortunately. PJ will start their next lap. We go on board with Egapro, who is a little bit further down the road at the moment. Are they backing off? They are backing off, so they're not going to continue this one. I think they're going to try and go again, so maybe they're just warming up the tyres. I do apologise. We will carry on with PJ now. He had that close call a minute ago. He's going to have to try and make everything count now. Up the hill, full send, nice and committed, maybe a bit too over-committed, but he's still kind of reached the apex somewhat towards the end. Down the hill we go, nice and zoomed in, as it always is on the Alpine car. Get a lovely view of the track surface. Weather is all dry and sunny. We've just got confirmation, so there is going to be no changes. PJ up to the line now, a long way to go. This is going to be an opportunity to overtake. Will it be an opportunity to overtake on the final lap though? There's the DRS line as you hear the beep, but across the finish line, what's it going to be for the Alpine driver? It's going to be a P9 in the end. Lots of drivers still out on the circuit. That is Zingy going to set their lap a bit later on. We do have Heischler though. We will watch on board, trying to send it as hard as he possibly could on entry. using the rear locking to his advantage. Was it enough? Was it an improvement? It's not going to be an improvement. He tries his best to find anything he can in the final corner, again with the rear locking as well. I don't think it's going to be enough though in just one corner for Heisler. The McLaren driver dives into the pit lane. Zingy is stopped on the circuit. He will not be able to improve. Becken, can he improve? Can he try and fight for pole position here? I think he's locked up a little bit there. Unfortunately, that's going to definitely cost his chances a lot. I don't entirely know if he's going to be able to prove. He's actually invalidated. I don't know what I'm saying. Eager Pro into the pit lane. Gilly, he's going to be one to maybe look at pole position. That's Nifojan getting a tow for qualifying, and he gets to P2 and beats Zingy in the end. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Heisler is on pole position, but he's got a double AlphaTauri sat right behind him. That's not going to be too easy to deal with. We have Devon Young, who's going to come around the final corner. What's it going to be for this man in the Red Bull driver car? It's going to be a P9. And Gilly will finally cross the line, and I think that is probably going to be how qualifying goes. We'll find out where Gilly goes, though. Across the line he will go, not into the pit lane. And that's a P6. Lovely, lovely stuff. But what an ending to qualifying for this man right here. Sure, he got a tow from his teammate, but teamwork makes the dream work. You gotta say fair play. And he's gonna have a double tag team right behind him. Is Heisler. That is pole position. He's going to be very happy with that one. Can he hold it for the sprint race, though? That is the question. Heisler takes pole position. Nifojan in P2. Zingy in P3. That's the rest of the grid. And then we'll quickly look for the race director just in case. That qualifying order for the top 4 is not too bad at all. Fair enough for everyone. We will be back for the race. We will see you in a minute. The sprint race. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn 1? We are away! Off the line goes Heisler. Will the AlphaTauri be able to take advantage? Yes, he will! Into the lead of the Grand Prix goes Nifojan. Heisler sticks his nose in, but it's not going to be enough. And Zingy, he's going to be trying his best to get involved. He might even have a go at going for P2 immediately. Defensive goes Nifojan. He holds on nicely. That is Gilly looking to the inside. Luke is doing a very good job to get straight into the car after spending so much time out of it. That's a yellow, unfortunately. Devon Young down the order. Eager Pro is out of this race, and that is PJ. A 5-second penalty for a severe collision as they must have come together. And on the exit of turn 5, that is, Eager Pro is out of this race on the sprint race. He will start the main race in P12. And PJ, he's got a little bit of an interesting situation in his hands. He'll have to change his front wing, and all the fingers are currently pointing at him. We don't know the full situation, so it might not be their fault. We will have to check it a little bit later. It's going to be an interesting one. Something to note, top 4 on the medium tyre. PJ and Devon Young also on the medium tyre. Soft tyres for everybody else, interestingly. Looks like we're going pretty quickly, maybe looking for the restart already. On the straight, they're probably going to slow down drastically all of a sudden. Luke is going way too aggressively on the restart, and that is going to be him making contact, so he's got a bit of karma right there. 5-second time penalty, even worse for Devon Young now. More issues for him, and that is going to be Luke. He's going to be pretty furious with himself, I think. He tried to get every advantage he could, but ended up losing out. So that is a shame. He is the back of the pack regarding the medium tyre. So he really wanted to try and go on the attack, but unfortunately it's not going to quite work out. I do want to watch this guy right now, because he is going to be hunting as best as he can, trying to kind of help Nippo in a way by slowing him down if that's possible. He really does want to try and do his best, and I think he will be doing it. Not that easy though. 0.7 seconds is the gap that Nifojan has. DRS will be available at some point. I think it's this next lap, and he's going to possibly look for it. Zingy is so close, forcing Heischler to look at maybe attacking Nifo, but I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's waiting. He goes to the inside line. Zingy doesn't want the outside line, but I think he's just going to hold back, maybe get the DRS. Did Heischler get the DRS as well? He probably did, but that is going to be Heischler on the more compromised line. DRS available. It will be available for both drivers, but Zingy is right behind. No, he just wants to try and cause one car to drain their battery. But look at this. Look at this. They're splitting away so much, and Gilly is into P4 on that soft tyre. Luke cannot actually find anything on this. He could not find an answer after having that issue on the restart, and that is going to be Gilly loving life. And there's a bit of contact up in front. There's a bit of contact. Zingy makes contact with Heischler. Heischler loses out a lot. All of a sudden, 1.8 seconds, and Nifojan is looking to try and take the win here for the sprint. Can he get it done? Will Zingy get through, or will Heischler be able to find a bit more pace? Zingy backs off slightly, so maybe he's thinking it was his fault there. I'm not entirely sure. 2.3 seconds now is the gap. Nifojan is absolutely killing it. ERS is being used, DRS is available, and Zingy is going to go for it, but no, Heischler's going to try and take him off the road there. Gilly goes through. I don't know what's gone on there. That is not what we want to see. Zingy does eventually get past Heischler, but Gilly's all of a sudden in front, and he's got a pretty good run, but he's not got that much energy. DRS available for Zingy. He's got some energy, but he's not going to be close enough for that one. Unfortunately, he will have to wait behind. Luke has caught up. These guys fighting so hard, all of a sudden has brought everybody else back into it. It's also brought Peanuts, who's right back into it as well. Will he be able to do anything? I'm not entirely sure. That is Zingy leaving the session momentarily. I don't know what's happened there. So he's had some internet issues. That is not what we want to see. He is disconnected. Hopefully we can get him back into the lobby as soon as possible, but he is going to lose big time. Luckily, as I said earlier, for Luke disconnecting and qualifying, it is only a sprint race, so he will be able to have a bit more of a recovery compared to a normal race. But yeah, that's not what you want to see. Gilly sitting in P2, 2.8 seconds behind the race leader of Nifojan. They are on the alternate tyre. They have the pace at the moment. It will switch a little bit later. Will they be able to catch up to Nifojan, and will they be able to hold on in front of Heischler and Luke, the two Dutchmen right there? Then they do have the two Swedish drivers in the Alfa Romeos. Of course, we have Peanuts following the train, but Becken is slightly further behind, and it's looking a little bit squirmy as Zingy now regains control of his car, and he's going to try and make a move at some point soon, I reckon. He's going to have to try and be aggressive. It is lap 5 out of 12. He's still got a long way to go, but not that long, and that is going to be perfect reaction there for Zingy. Unfortunately, that's Devon Young. Not Devon Young, that's Tom Brainer, who had to react to Zingy reacting, and that is such a shame. Sidewinder spins, Tom Brainer goes off the circuit. Luckily, he's got no damage, advantage. Zingy did have to do everything he could to avoid that collision, and I'm not really going to blame him for that one. That is a heck of an unfortunate incident for those guys. He's already up to the back of Becken, and he's going to be looking to try and make that move early on, I reckon. I think he is going to go for it immediately, if not on the next straight, potentially. It's a bit of an off moment there for Becken, maybe getting a track limit warning by accident. Braking as late as he possibly can. He is on that medium tyre. He should be quicker within the next few laps, if not already. It is slightly different tyre wear for a sprint race. Would he try and go for it now, though? I don't think he will, because he's just not close enough. He will have to wait. We've got Gilly, who is still in front of Heichler. Heichler very, very, very close, but there's just not close enough to actually make a move. Nifojan now 3.2 seconds in front, and we're halfway through this sprint race, and he is looking like he could possibly win this. Zingy goes for the move in the middle sector. Would have been nice to see that one, but I'm sure we'll see an overtake at some point here again, because he is rapid and he is catching up. He's got another set of soft tyres in front of him, so only getting quicker he will be. It should be a pretty straightforward move, at least once he's caught up to Peanuts. Nothing against Peanuts at all, it is just the way the tyres will be working. And then the other cars in front, they are looking very, very close as they're all battling hard. It's going to be a complete switch up, it looks like. Gilly's going to drop to the back. Luke, is he going to try and go for the lead of the train? He will not. He's going to have to back off. The Ferrari sticks his nose in. Now, will Luke have DRS? Will he be able to go for the move on the McLaren and lead the way? I don't think it matters too much, because he's now P2 in the train. He's got the power. He's got every advantage he can, because, you know, P2 in the train at Brazil is not going to be a bad place to be. Eichler once again sits in that second spot, but Luke is nice and close, and he gets a second opportunity at fighting for the top spot. 3.3 seconds now. Heichler's unleashed on that medium tyre. Can he catch up to Nifojan? Nifojan is doing his absolute best right here. He's doing a good job. He actually won last season for Brazil, both the sprint and the main race. So he's looking at getting the double if he possibly can. Heichler, 3.3 seconds. He's going to try his best to close that down. 3.4. It's pretty stable at the moment, and he is going to be pushed by Luke. He can't focus on Luke. They have to work together. It's lap 7 out of 12. They've still got ages to go. Zingy going to make that move on Peanuts. I don't think Peanuts is really bothered about fighting that one too much at all, so he's going to let that one go for now. Luke very close to the back of the McLaren. DRS available. He gets a nice exit. That should be job done, more or less, unless Heichler is going to defend it. He stays to the outside line. He's not going to defend it, so he will let that one go. And that is going to be Luke taking P2. 3.5 seconds now. Lap 8 out of 12. We are running out of laps, but it's still not impossible if Luke has that pace in the car. 3.4 seconds now. He could catch up. He could make moves. And Zingy, he's sitting right behind this battle. He's going to be back in the fight very, very soon with the pace that he's got in that car. Will he be able to get the job done, though? He's already within DRS range of Gilly. Those soft tyres were not the way to go. So unfortunately for those guys, they are going to lose out. I say that, all the soft tyre runners are kind of on their own, except from Gilly. So Gilly is just going to have a bit of a struggle. I think they've actually lost out on DRS. We're going to watch for these guys, though, as Heichler is going to go for the move on Luke. Luke's going to have to let that one go. And will we see Zingy send it to the inside? We will see him send it to the inside. And Gilly, I think he might try and come back, you know. He might actually give it a shot. No. That is going to be Zingy breaking away so well because of that traction with that tyre. Luke isn't going to fight Heichler. He doesn't get close enough as you get to the braking zone. It just wouldn't be worth fighting at that corner. Lap 9 out of 12 and you're 3.6 seconds behind the race leader. You can work together to try and catch up. If not, then you've got to just try and time track position to perfection. That being said, they do have another AlphaTauri coming quite close to them at the back of the pack, at the back of their pack, but yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Zingy is going to be very, very feisty. He's had a pretty tough job with that disconnection, making all the progress yet again, and I think he's going to be going full aggression as he was earlier on. DRS available, he'll know that Luke isn't going to push too hard because he wants to try and stay within the train. That might be an opportunity for him to gain. He brakes as late as he can without going into the back of the other car in front. And now he gets a perfect exit. I say that a bit too perfect. Gets a bit of wheel spin. Unfortunately, that is going to be that one done. So now, lap 10 out of 12. He's not got long to go. He's going to have to try and reconsider that. He didn't get the move done there. So all of a sudden now, he's going to have to hope that Heichler and Luke fight hard and he can get the double overtake. And it's not that difficult to necessarily get done around here at Brazil, but instead he's going to go for a bit of a fakie on the inside. Luke isn't phased. He does not care. He's racing me many times and it's not going to affect him. He is going to still go for the move to the inside, I think. Zingy trying his best. Defensive very slightly for Luke as he tries to force Zingy on a slightly more inside line, and he is on the inside himself now. He is going to try and brake late. He's gonna have the DRS, I think, both drivers. Nipojan disconnects from the session. What a shame. What a shame. No. Luke gonna go back for the move on Zingy. Heichler's breaking away. They will get slung shot. They will be able to catch up. It's side by side with Zingy, though. He's still trying to hold on and fight with all his efforts he possibly can, but he's gonna back off right there. I do not believe what I'm seeing. 2.6 seconds. The gap is closing down. Nipojan done such a good job, but now he can't do anything. He's just waiting and hoping and trying to rejoin as soon as he possibly can. I don't know if it's going to work though. Heichler is right there. He can see it. 2.1 seconds. He's going to be fought by Luke. He's going to be fought by Zingy. They're going to have to try and work together. You get to the middle sector and the gains that these guys will have over an AI car are absolutely obscene. It's just not going to be possible to compete with. Heichler might even get the DRS. I think he might wait. He might wait for Nippo's AI car before he goes past on the final straight, and he will get DRS. That will allow him to get a very nice lead. And no, that's going to be Luke Brown. I don't know if there was contact or if he just locked the rears. That's going to be Zingy into P3 momentarily though, as that is going to be Heichler leading the Grand Prix. Zingy's going to get DRS. Heichler's not going to get DRS now. This is a perfect opportunity here for Zingy to go for the lead in the Grand Prix. No, he's lost the car. I do not believe it. What is going on? Luke to P2 yet again. Zingy's not going to be able to fight back. 9 tenths is the gap. Luke is going to have to do the lap of his life if he wants to try and challenge Heichler here. He does catch up a little bit. Heichler, honestly, he should not be fighting anything. That's a switch up there. Gilly and Peanuts changing positions recently there. I don't quite know what happened, but this is the battle that we have to watch. The top 3. And what a tragic moment there for Nipojan, who's actually going to get overtaken by Gilly as well in the end of all of this. Heichler leads the way, and it might even be over a second. Zingy's going to try and send it to the inside. He's ending up compromising his line, and I don't think he's even going to get a P2. Heichler comes around the final corner, and for the first time ever, he will be a race winner in LSI and ever. Heichler wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. How about that? That was full of drama. Wow. Heichler, well done. It has been a long time, a long time, many years of no wins, and he's finally done it. It is a sprint race, but it was a dramatic one, and it was a tough one. Not easy at all. He's done it. That is the first ever time. Congratulations, my friend. You deserve that one. That was incredible. I have to say, though, this guy did a phenomenal job. Heichler does deserve it. Nippo equally, if not more so, but disconnected again. The morale at AlphaTauri is not going to be that good at the moment. They're going to be pretty disappointed with that one. But in McLaren, they are going to be smiling. Heichler takes the win for the first time ever, not only in LSI, but ever. Luke in P2, Zingy P3, then we got Niffer, Jan, Gilly, Peanuts, Beck and Sidewinder, Tom Brainer, PJ, Devon Young, and DNFing was Eager Pro earlier on. We skimmed through the race director just in case. And we'll be back for the main race. We'll see you in a bit after a restart. Alright, thank you very much for waiting. We will be racing once again shortly. Ready? Hold! Go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are away. Heichler off the line and pole position yet again. Look to the inside. No, he's not going to be able to get on the inside because he's got an AlphaTauri that he's busy fighting with. He does try and get around him, and he does eventually get around him. There's a bit of contact. Here comes Nifojan up behind him. Can he get involved? Can he get the Mercedes? We're on board. It's looking so tight. He tried his best. He just about keeps the car on the circuit. The Alfa Romeo is going to be looking feisty. They want to get through. No, they're not going to be able to get involved. Just about going to have to let that one go. EagerPro is back in the battle, but almost ended it all very, very quickly yet again. That is going to be Becken holding off at the back there, unfortunately. Almost losing it and causing a collision there with Devon Young. Was EagerPro? That's Heichler! Heichler! Heichler is round! The race winner from the sprint. The pole sitter from Brazil. He's all of a sudden at the back of the grid on the first lap, and Zingy leads the Brazilian Grand Prix. How about that? I did not expect it. Nifojan, is he going to be looking to go for the move this early on? Luke is definitely going to be looking to go for the move. He's going to back off. He just doesn't want Nifojan to have a look. Nifo's so close to the back of Luke, though, almost causing contact. That is going to be Gilly getting, I was going to say, in front of these guys. PJ and Sidewinder are looking very, very close together just then. And once again, PJ trying to look for an overtake. He might even give it a shot, you know, on the exit. Would he be cheeky enough to dare to? No, he's used a lot of energy, and I think he's already out of juice, so he's going to have to try and sit back and relax just momentarily before he goes for any more sends. He does have a look at Gilly on the inside. Gilly leaves just enough space to avoid contact. Is Gilly on the hard tyre, I believe? He is on the hard tyre, so that's why PJ is being so aggressive. He wants to try and get in front of the hard tyre runner. He is the lead medium tyre runner. Devon Young and the Sidewinder switching positions as they're side by side with Tom Brainer is Sidewinder, so he loses out even more, and he's not looking like he's having the easiest of times. Beckham gets through. He's on the medium. PJ is out of the race. I do not believe it. What happened? That's surely going to be a safety car. Heisler immediately dives into the pit lane, but no safety car is deployed. Has he pitted for no reason? What has happened? Why has the safety car not come out after a crash right next to the pit lane? He had damage anyway, so it's not going to matter. Zingy leads the way on lap 3 of the 36, and his teammate is not far behind. This takes us back to the old days of last season, where these guys were all very, very close indeed to one another. Nifojan, of course, he did take off his racing line, so that's why he had a bit of a struggle with pace, but he's brought it back and he's looking quick today. Sidewinder P10 looking good to go at the moment as he's trying to recover his thoughts from the issues that he just was encountering. He gets back on his feet. That is a hell of a shame for PJ. I'm not sure if it was an actual crash or if he just disconnected. That's Luke very close to the back of the AlphaTauri driver, but he's not going to be going for the move yet again. Nifojan is so close. He is using the energy, he's deploying it, he's going aggressive, he's forcing Luke to fight a little bit here. Luke very, very close, but yet again he doesn't want to go for a move, so these guys are just running away on their own. Gilly goes for the move here on Peanuts. These guys are going to be racing tomorrow. They're both on equal tyres. Devon Young, however, right behind and not on equal tyres. He's going to want to go for a move sooner rather than later. I would definitely. Is he even going to try and send it in the middle sector here? Not right there because he's way too far back, but maybe on the exit of the uphill it could be possible as long as he gets the traction down. No, he's not going to hold his breath and close his eyes, but I mean, I don't think you should probably avoid closing your eyes, to be honest, if you are going to be driving a car. So yeah, sorry for that stupid comment there from me. Anyway, on the traction, ERS will be available, DRS will be available, and I think he's even going to probably get the move done before DRS is available. He does eventually get it, and now he's going to be slungshot right to Gilly here, and Gilly is now going to be next up on the menu. That being said, we do have to take a quick look here because we've got Nifojan yet again, nice and close. Would they go for the move? They're going to go for the move this time. Defensive is Luke, the Mercedes driver, trying to take the racing line, but just completely not taking into consideration the car side by side. I think they're assuming that Nifojan would have held off and raced as they were, but no, he was going for that move, so that was a bit of a miscommunication there from Luke, and he is going to struggle from that one. DRS is possible here for Gilly. That's if Nifojan can catch up, though. It's not impossible for him to catch up back to the top two. It's not going to be easy. 4/10. And if he does catch up, he'll probably bring the rest of the field with him. I think maybe Devon Young was hoping to sit behind Gilly, because there's no way he was hoping to sit behind voluntarily on a set of medium tyres. But instead, now he's stuck in a bit of a DRS train. Is Luke going to go for the lead of the Grand Prix? They're not going to go for the lead of the Grand Prix. They're still going to wait. They're going to get so close to the AlphaTauri that they almost crashed into the other one. And that wouldn't have been ideal. 0.3 seconds, 0.4 seconds. Nifo is keeping somewhat similar pace right here for these guys. And Luke, yet again, is just going to work together with Zingy to try and create a gap if he possibly can. That is exactly what he needs. But when you've got the other driver's teammate that you've just had an incident with, that's never going to be the easiest thing to be involved in. Beckham and Eopro very close to one another. They want to try and catch up to the battle, I'm sure, just in front of them. And actually, that is Nifojan getting so close to these cars now. We could have possibly an entire field once again bunched up on lap 6 out of 36. It's looking possible. We go to Nifojan. He's so close on the DRS. Gilly actually loses out, unfortunately. So he's going to have to try and pick up the pace. Otherwise, Devon Young's going to have to go for the move. And I think Devon is already going to go for the move. He doesn't need to use ERS because he's got DRS and Gilly's not got any energy. He still uses it just to make sure he secures it and maybe gets a slingshot if he can use the medium tyre to their advantage and hold on to DRS range. I don't think he will. I think Nifo's just done enough. And also talking about just done enough, that is going to be Luke breaking away from DRS yet again. So Nifojan pushing to the absolute limit. He's got no energy in the car to try and push with now, but it's a very, very good effort. Devon Young, he is going to be a bit of a spanner in the works, not only for Nifojan, but for the top two as well. It is lap 7 out of 36, so he will start to get slower at some point, but he could be useful as long as he's got the same idea and Nifo has got the same idea. I'm sure it's going to be passing their minds. It's just whether they do actually take action on this plan that I'm thinking of or not, and that would be to allow Devon to use these medium tyres for a lap or two, catch up to the top two, and then Nifojan can go back through, and Devon Young wouldn't really need to fight it because as long as he doesn't lose that much time, every bit of time loss that is minimal is useful to him. 2/10, 3/10 lost overall there for Nifojan in that lap, so it's not looking easy, and Zingy is leading the way, but not really fighting hard with Luke. He doesn't need to. Devon Young is going to go for the move, and I think Nifo wanted to hold on to the position. I think he knew that he needed to try and stay in the front, and it's going to get so close, but unfortunately for him, Devon Young's going to make it through. Come on, Devon, let's see what he can do now. They lost 2/10 by fighting. He now needs to try and make that back on these tyres. But as I said, only a few laps maybe in front of Nifo before he'd need to switch it back, because we are getting to the switchover point within the next probably 2-3 laps-ish. So he is going to be pretty frustrated, and that's why you could probably see him fighting to get back past if he possibly could. Devon isn't exactly catching to the top guys, so I think you probably want to give him an extra lap. Will Nifo give him an extra lap though, or is he going to go for the move immediately? He is going to go for the move, not immediately. He's going to wait behind and let Devon fight. He's going to let Devon try and pick up the pace and catch up. Gilly is going to be passed there by Peanuts. Peanuts makes the move. Will Gilly try and come back at him? That is going to be a mistake for Nifojan, and Peanuts is going to come through. DRS energy is available, but setup, it looks like pro Nifojan. He's got pace in that car in a straight line, and he will hold on just about, defending nicely. But Devon Young, 2.6 seconds, crucially losing out. I do not believe it. Nifojan was a contender for the race win, looking comfortable with all the energy in the world sat in P3, and now he's down in P4 and he can't recover the time, and he's now fighting with other drivers on a different strategy, which is just not going to help him whatsoever. These little micro mistakes are not what you need when you were trying to fight for a race win. It's not impossible. He can have a go at getting a different strategy. He could pit much earlier. He could pit much later. The safety car could definitely come out and change things up. That is going to be Nifo making the move on Devon Young, and we could see an Alfa Romeo go through as well. He is going to be invited. He's not going to need a second invitation though, and he will brake as late as he can, and he secures the move. He secures the move. Nifojan makes a mistake. He might even secure another move if he can use the energy nicely. He is going to go for it. Yes, he is. To the inside line. That is going to be Peanuts going for it. Side by side, they will go all the way to the outside using all of the track for the AlphaTauri driver, but it's going to be Peanuts still surely having the advantage. No, it won't. Bit of a tap. That's going to send the Alfa Romeo off. It was so tight up the hill, and that is going to be Nifojan taking P3. He's going to have some questions raised himself, and so is Peanuts. He's going to be a little bit annoyed at that one, but he's still in the train crucially, so it could have been worse. He could be completely out of this race. He has definitely got another chance to get back into this one. Still needs a little bit more time to get to Gilly, and he could do that. I think he's already done it. believe it or not. He just needs to get a good exit. He's got the DRS, and that should be pretty simple. Now, Devon Young, is he going to try and fight Nifojan for the position? He will. He will fight Nifojan for the position. Luke retires, and oh my days, what has just happened? Okay, he's retired in the pit lane. That's Igapro retiring on the circuit and causing a safety car. Luke, I'm not entirely sure why they have retired, but they've just retired. And that was a voluntary retirement because he didn't disconnect first. And now these guys are going to be switching up. Nifojan goes for the move once again in front of Zingy. And now it's going to be a P1 and 2. AlphaTauri and a safety car is deployed. As I said just a lap or two ago, that things could change. Well, that was a very sudden switch up. 2 cars out all of a sudden. The safety car's deployed, and I don't know what to say. It's a confusing situation. That's for sure. That is for sure. Now, medium tyre, they're going to be pretty happy, to be honest. Pretty happy. They'll be able to go to the end easily. But the hard tyre runners, they will also be able to go to the end, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. I say that, they might not actually be able to go to the end. It will be so tough. They're going to have to use all the pace they can possibly have. Nifojan, he goes into the pit lane, and Tom Brainer stays out. Tom Brainer is going to lead the Grand Prix on that medium tyre. There's going to be Devon Young. Okay, why did they do that? Why did they do that? I think that must have been a mistake. That is no way intentional. Nifojan does lose a bit of time, unfortunately, as they were on that double stacking situation. They've done a good job to not lose any time to Gilly, though. But why are they on the softs? Just why are they on the softs? I have no explanation for that myself. I don't know why they'd want to do it. I guess maybe a soft medium is on the cards. Maybe they're saying, you know what, the other medium tyre runners are going to have to pit, so I might as well try and do this now, because the other guys are going to have to go onto the softs later on anyway. Tom Brainer, though, he might have an idea here. I think he'd have to pit within the next lap, though. Eichler's going to get back in this battle. He's going to be on the hards. He's going to be going to the end. This is a good idea for him. He might actually go to the mediums. He would have a lap fresher mediums than everybody else if he does do that. But, yeah, I don't know. I would want to be on the hards. Tom Brainer's trying to do something a little bit different, and Devon Young is just completely bonkers. So the strategy is all over the place with many, many drivers. Will we see anybody go for a second pit stop? That is the question. No, not a second pit stop. Will Heischler take it to the pit lane then? That is going to be Gilly actually into the pit lane. So he's pitted onto that medium side. He's going to try and go back onto a second set of hards. That's if he's got hards available, though. If he selected the correct tyre allocation, that is going to be Heischler staying out. He'll gain a position over Gilly and the Ferrari. Gilly is going to be on the hard tyre. He knows what he needs to do. Now, we're not halfway through the race. We're nowhere near halfway through the race. So we've got about, what is that, 23 laps? 24 laps? Am I counting that right? '22 maybe? I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, Tom Brainer's going to lead the safety car restart once Gilly catches up, and we'll get that confirmation. It will be late confirmation because that is how Brazil works, unfortunately. So it's going to be an interesting one. Everybody, as long as they're careful, they'll be good to go. And then we will be racing once again in Interlagos, Brazil, Sao Paulo, Autodromo Carlos Pace, whatever you want to call it. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix that will be underway very, very shortly. We'll cross the sector line where we usually would get confirmation. And we do get confirmation on the sector line for the first time in a long time. Fair enough. Thank you very much. Alrighty, let's see how this one goes. The safety car restart is almost underway. Zingy's going to be the one to react to Tom Brainer, who leads the way. Will he go for it early? Will he go for it late? Zingy is the king of safety car restarts. I'm sure he's going to try and react as soon as he can. He reacts pretty nicely there. The Haas is going to struggle with that one. They're going to struggle to compete. Zingy's nice and close. I think he's going to go for the lead into the first corner already. He is going to do it. He brakes late. He's got the grip. And he's going to go for it as well, Devon Young. He swarms the Haas driver. And here comes Nipojan. He's in P3 and he's already down to P4. And now, another car. Is it going to be possible? It will be possible. Peanuts to the inside. Tom Brainer cannot stop falling like a stone. A seagull being hit out the sky. That is such a shame. And I think he's even going to go further down the order. Becken goes through. Heisler on the hard tyre sends it to the inside. What a move there for Heisler. And Gilly, well, I think he's going to do a little bit of dividends there for Tom Brainer. Not making him look too bad, but all of a sudden he went from 1st to 8th in just under 2 sectors almost. And Gilly is the only car to not get through. If he gets a good exit here, he could actually go from 1st to last here for Tom Brainer. He is going to go from 1st to last. Gilly will make that move, and that is such a tragic moment there for the strategy of Tom Brainer, but he still is in a different situation. Devon Young goes for the fastest lap, and if anybody else doesn't go for a soft tyre or a late pit stop, they might have that fastest lap for the rest of the race. Zingy, let him go. He's not willing to fight it. The strategy should, in theory, be the inferior one. In theory. So, yeah, they're not going to be fighting that one willingly. They're just going to let him go. And the switchover point will come in a few laps, especially as we've been under the safety car, where peak performance kind of goes out the window. Peak performance is probably on lap 1, lap 2 old tyres, not lap 0. So that's going to be where you want to be, and he is still on pretty peak performance with 3 laps currently on the board, but it isn't going to take long for those to die out, and he will have to go into the pit lane. All the other guys might not have to go into the pit lane so soon, so they will probably have a look at waiting. The top 3, they are going to be communicating the 2 AlphaTauris, so they will be able to work together. That is going to be a switch up. Sidewinder loses the position to Becken. Also talking about communication, the Alfa Romeos are going to be working together. So we can see some moves that will be made, that will be called for, some that won't be maybe. We are going to see an attack here from Becken as he's forced to attack from the absolutely sending it Red Bull to the inside line. Going off the circuit is Peanuts, and Sidewinder gets through in an interesting fashion, and he's not going to be happy with that one. Peanuts yet again having issues with a few cars when he goes off the circuit at that point again in the middle sector. So yeah, a bit of a shame there for Peanuts. He can still come back, and he's got his teammate right in front to try and help him out, so it's not the end of the world. But as these guys are trying to catch up for the top runners, it's not going to be so straightforward. Zingy has made that move yet again over Devon Young, and he's actually breaking away a little bit. Nipojan, he might have an opportunity to get in front. It's not going to be impossible. Zingy goes for the fastest lap, as he proves us wrong from the previous lap. The cars are just a lap lighter, and he has all the grip in the world, or just 2 laps lighter, I should say. That is yet again another switch up, and this time Heisler's going to get involved in the battle. He might have a go at making the move over the Alfa Romeo as well. He's going to send it to the inside so hard that he misses his braking point. He doesn't. He makes the corner. He makes the move. That is a good job on that hard tyre as well. He's going to be good to go to the end. Could he try and use this to his advantage later on and go for the double win? He's not that far away from the race leader at the moment. We'll actually fact check that and see. He is 4.3 seconds behind and on the better strategy, the safer strategy. Not when you're locking the rears up like that though. He's got to be very, very careful. All the cards are in his hands. He's just got to take it easy and take it to the end. That's all he needs to do, and he has a very, very good chance at winning this race. Becken on his own momentarily. He's kind of in no man's land. We'll check him out in a little bit, but we do have yet again another close train, and we could see some attacks. There is going to be attack here by the Alfa Romeo on that medium tyre. They want to make the medium tyre work. Heisler's not going to want to make that happen, and he's instead, by fighting that, going to lose out to Sidewinder. So probably should have let that one go. Now all of a sudden, blocking is the Alfa Romeo. He's trying to hold the outside line, boxed in. It's all very difficult. That is going to be Peanuts down the order. I do not believe it. I do not believe what I've just seen. What the hell happened? Peanuts goes down the order. Tom Brainer's going to make the move, and he's down to last place. It's all very, very tricky when you're boxed in, and that is what happens. Everybody wants to try and make moves, and you just can't. You can't rush your way through a physical car. And then we get that as a result. It's disappointing, but it's happened now. Nothing we can really do, unfortunately. So we will just have to let that go. Peanuts is going to be looking to make that move very, very soon, if not immediately. Here we go to the inside line. Sidewinder, will he also go for the move on the McLaren? He's not going to go for it yet. He's going to wait. He does have the advantageous tyre at this stage, not for too long. So he's got to make sure he doesn't make mistakes like that while he does have the advantage, because otherwise he's not going to be able to go for the move and make use of his tyres. Weissler gets an opportunity to breathe right here, and Gilly also is on the back of this battle in a very good situation for their strategy. After that battle, the gap has extended by about 2 seconds for Heisler, so that only makes it a little bit harder for his chances of winning this race. Still, I would say, in my opinion, advantage to him. But he just needs to try and make sure he stays out of trouble, and it's not going to be easy, but if you can just drive well and make sure that gap is about 8 tenths, then the car behind won't be able to fight you. 6 tenths might be a bit of a different story. DRS will be available, and ERS is definitely powerful, so even if you have a little bit of it available, it might be enough to catch you a decent tow and a slingshot into the first corner. Still going to wait it out, though, is the Red Bull driver of Sidewinder. Not willing to fight it yet. Devon Young loses the position as Nifo-Jan going to go for the move as he gets the DRS to slingshot himself in front. I don't think Devon Young actually had the DRS himself because Zingy broke away. So there you go. That is the soft tyre finish. Lap 8. That will not be the way to go for tomorrow's race, he's thinking. So a heck of a shame, but he gave it a good shot. He held in front for as long as he possibly could. Becken and P4, they're on their own at the moment, and they will eventually catch up to Devon Young. Sidewinder is in front of Heisler, so Heisler has just got to try and think about this one. I know he wants to get through, but as long as he just has minimal time loss, even if he's losing a little bit of time, it'll be absolutely fine, but he can't afford to fight too hard, that's all. Gilly sat right behind as well. I say right behind, 8 tenths isn't exactly that close. He's going to be careful. DRS available here for Heisler, and I assume Sidewinder is not going to be using too much energy, so they are just going to slingshot each other, and Sidewinder will play ball. Almost taking him out in the process. But if they can just use this as a slipstream train, they will catch up to the cars in front, and that will be a great deal to them. Nifo-Jan got no energy in that car. That will be literally a flashing light, a red light here for Devon Young. He can see that. It's displayed to the entire world, and he now knows that that car in front is vulnerable. That being said, lap 9 on a set of soft tyres, it's not going to be the best way to look at things if you want to try and make a move. So I think he's going to have to try and look at time loss, staying out of DRS from Becken, maybe making a move on a car if they make a mistake like Nifo-Jan has just done in front, or just going into the pit lane immediately and losing minimal time, and hoping that the other cars have to make a pit stop at some point. He is going to go for the move on Nifo-Jan, which is exactly what he doesn't want to do. You can see this guy Becken is just watching these battles go on in front, and he's only going to catch up a lot easier. He's on at the same tyre as Nipojan. Nipojan gets the immediate switch back, and he's furious as Devon Young. Furious as he wiggles the wheel. Left and right he goes. But the AlphaTauri is through at the moment. Heichler, unfortunately, after being in such an advantageous position, is out of this Grand Prix. There's a big, big crash. I do not believe it. And that is Peanuts involved. I don't think Tom Brainer is. He's going to get out in front of the safety car. So that was Heichler spinning off the circuit and Peanuts trying to go for the move. And unfortunately, there's a bit of a muddle up. And now that is them out of that one. And we didn't quite get to see it, unfortunately. But that is a great start to the event for Heichler. Turned to a bad one, which is a massive disappointment. He was in a very good position to get an incredible result regarding strategy, but unfortunately it will not be how it was supposed to be in the end. Zingy leads the way yet again. Nifojan is probably going to suffer here from a little bit of a strategy blunder, because not blunder on their own part, but because of the double stack that they will have to face. So we will watch and see. They do have to wait very slightly, pretty much perfect to be honest. There's about 6 seconds that you need if you want to get that. He only drops one position, so yet again playing fairly nicely here. It does allow Becken to catch up, but he would have caught up anyway because of course the safety car. Sorry for the delay there. Apologies for that one. But that's how that goes. Alrighty. Well, Zingy leads the way. Yet again for another safety car restart. We won't be restarting for a little bit of time at the moment. Everybody onto the medium tyre, so the strategy from Gilly does go out the window as well. Sidewinder, I assume, didn't have enough mediums to go onto maybe, so he's had to go to the soft tyre. It's not impossible to get to the end on the soft tyre, but it's not exactly going to be quick. We could see potentially Peanuts and Tom Brainer going back into the pit lane. Maybe Tom will pit again. He is at the back, so he has nothing to lose by doing so. It's just whether he has certain tyres available or not, if he could go onto that medium tyre. But all of a sudden the medium tyre is going to be good to go to the end anyway. Sorry for the delay, just trying to make sure everything is correct and we are good to go. Okie dokie, we will be restarting at the end of this lap 25 out of 36. We will be going racing once again in Interlagos. We should get the call to restart when we cross the sector line. If not, then it might be just after the final corner. It will be Devon Young to react to Zingy this time. Nifojan is going to be right there, and he's going to want to try and go back to P2 if he can. He did a very good job to get there earlier on, so it is his second opportunity at getting this job done. Zingy is going to be the king of restarts yet again, and Devon Young's got a taste of this before. He will get another taste now. And they are going to be communicating, the two AlphaTauris. There you go. Zingy's already gone for it. The other AlphaTauri will be sat right behind. He's reacted very well. Exactly what he needs to do. Would he go for the move, though? He's going to force Devon to push, to push, to push. Would he try and push for the move on the inside? He won't be able to get it, but that does compromise Devon a little bit. Nifajan, as long as he's smooth on the throttle, he could get a good exit. No, he's going to have to wait behind a minute. But aggressive is Devon Young. He's catching a lot. He is going to go for the move to the inside line, and he's going to try and squeeze him as hard as he possibly could, Zingy. That is just on the limit. Maybe a little bit too hard. He's not going to be happy with that one. Zingy holds on, at least for now, into the lead of the Grand Prix. I don't know. That's tough. That is very, very, very tough. Devon Young is not going to be happy. He's still got DRS for the time being, but this man is very, very quick, as we saw in the sprint race. His recovery drive was epic. Can he do that again and use this time to break away from the pack? I think he definitely can. And Zingy hasn't won the Brazilian Grand Prix, I don't think, since back when he was fighting for the championship with Philemon in F1 21. That is how far back it has been that you'd have to go to see a win from Zingy at this circuit. That is going to be Becken going for the move in front of Gilly. So there you go. Good job indeed. There may have been a win from Zingy in a summer season or a winter season regarding Brazil. But other than that, official seasons, you would have to go back that far. Alrighty, Gilly sits behind. He's got a car very, very close on that soft tyre. He's going to be very, very feisty. Devon Young, unfortunately, losing out to Zingy now, so it was inevitable. And Nifajan is now going to have a great opportunity at making this move. They are going to be on equal tyres, though, compared to earlier on. So all of a sudden, the advantage is now lost for Nifa's side, and it is going to be about pure pace. We're going to have a look at the battle here. Will he go for the move early on? Will he go for it now? Is he going to wait? I think he might wait. Yeah, he will. Drops the rev so you can hear him lift. He's just going to hold on. Maybe look at DRS and go for the move already here. He is going to try and give it a shot. I think Devon's going to spot that from a mile away and let it go. It's not worth fighting at this stage of the race. As long as they can try and secure the move over Becken behind, that's great news. But Becken isn't exactly that close. He did have DRS and he did catch a little bit, but he's just got a bit more to find if he wants to get through. Sidewinder, he wants to try and get through here on Gilly, but he just can't. And Peanuts has still not quite got within DRS range of Sidewinder himself, so he will eventually, because the soft tyre will just drop off inevitably as well. I said that word too many times. I said many words too many times. I've said many words incorrectly too many times as well. But Peanuts will be catching up very, very shortly. It's just whether it's going to be enough, though, for him to get involved. Sidewinder, with that time penalty, would he be wanting to fight anytime soon, or is he going to try and let the other guys fight it out for position? I mean, he is an F1 driver, so really he does need to try and go for everything he possibly can do, because this is his current tier. But no, he loses it, and he's going to be out of the Grand Prix as we speak, and that's going to be another safety car. The soft tyre is now going to be into consideration. I am so sorry for the commentator's curse for Sidewinder there. That is completely on me. I am devastated. Sidewinder returns for the first race in a while, and he's out as I talk about him in the process. I am so sorry, Sidewinder. I'll say it again. Now, here is the big call. Will Zingy go into the pit lane? Nifajan will probably pit, I assume. That is if Zingy pits, of course, because if he doesn't, then it's just going to be an absolute disaster class. But he will lose out a lot, Nifajan, if he does pit. So either way, one of them is going to lose out. I think if Zingy and Niffo both stay out, then maybe Devon will stay out. It is still a decent tyre to be on, and you will have track position. Becken, if he sees these guys stay out, he might stay out as well. He will stay out. He's not going to stay out himself, though. Everybody else will stay out, and that is going to bring him in. Gillian, Peanut surely has to come in as well. He will come in. So now, there is going to be a wall of 3. What? Niffo's off! Niffo's off under the safety car conditions! I do not believe it! Goes off the circuit to P3! Niffojan, all of a sudden, off the camera, is now down the order. What has happened there? I do not believe it. Niffo's not going to be happy, and I don't exactly know what happened if he just lost the car. But he was cutting the grass momentarily. Now, the cars behind are going to be very, very quick indeed. Zingy's got a buffer of 2 cars in between him and that slightly older tyre. They're not exactly terrible tyres, and they might have a chance at coming back a little bit later on, but these tyres will definitely be the strongest for this situation. Zingy and Niffo did exactly what they needed to do, and Devon Young followed on, and that's exactly what they wanted. It's just whether Becken can do enough here. He's got to make sure he saves these tyres a little bit. Becken could win a Grand Prix. And that would be a major twist. Now, if you were watching a few minutes ago and you watch again and we are already under the safety car conditions, that is because unfortunately we had another retirement that brought the safety car out. And it has mixed the strategy up immensely. All of a sudden, anything can happen and anybody can have the advantage. It's still not over until it is over, though. We've got a while to go. There's going to be about 6 laps remaining when we get underway yet again. Alrighty. 6 laps remaining of this Grand Prix when we go for it. And we will get to the sector line, of course, for the 3rd sector as usual. Zingy leads the Grand Prix. He leads the championship. He's in a strong position for the championship. Devon Young is a reserve driver, and Niffojan just wants a good result. They were looking to win in the sprint race, and after it being ripped out of their hands, unfortunately, they are going to have to try and look elsewhere for a good result, and it might be a P1 and P2 for AlphaTauri in the main race, which would be more points. Not a win, but still more points in the bag than it would have been for a sprint race win. Medium tyre for the top 3. Everybody else on the softs. It's going to be the battle of the compounds. Zingy backs off as he knows the safety car's coming in, so he's going to get an even better gap to the rest of the cars, and we will be going for the restart for the 2nd time with Zingy leading the way and Niffojan being the one to react. Not Niffojan. Devon Young being the one to react. There they go for the restart already. Very good reaction yet again for Niffojan as he is able to communicate with his teammate. And that is going to be Devon Young maybe losing the position already. He'll go to the inside line. Devon Young holding the outside line, and he's not going to catch up to Zingy. Will he be able to send it on the brakes? He tries his best. He tries to hold on, but they're going to crash out, and that is going to be Becken going through. I do not believe it. It's tragic, and there's damage. There's big damage. Devon Young returns to the race circuit, and he slots in P5, but on the old medium tyre. Becken within DRS range on the soft tyre compared to Zingy. Will the brand new driver in the EU tier reserving today be able to beat the veteran of LSI? This man is very, very hard to beat, but he's got every advantage in his hands to try and get the job done. He's just got a couple laps that he needs to hold on and not crack under the pressure. He might have a chance here. It's going to be possible. We've got exciting racing. It's not in the spirit for the other guys, though, who have just had that tragic incident. Becken, though, he's got a golden opportunity, and he's got to take it with both hands. He's right there. You can see it. DRS will be available on the next lap. So we're just going to have to wait for that opportunity. He's going to use the soft tyre advantage at the moment, and he's not really going to lose an advantage whatsoever. I think they're going to be equal towards the end, if not still advantageous to Becken tyre-wise. He's spent some time under the safety car. So is Zingy, to be fair. So it's not so straightforward. The tyres are going to be both better for either driver. But yeah, that doesn't really make much difference. That Alfa Romeo is going to be rapid, and it's gonna be a brutal fight here for Zingy if he wants to try and hold on to this win. He's gonna push him all the way to the limit, I assume. Becken, he's just gonna make sure he doesn't crack under the pressure, as I've just said. He's got every advantage. Will the tyres overheat, though? That's the question. Brazil, it's a historic track for overheating tyres. It's very easy to do. We could see it happen. But I hope it doesn't, because I want a good battle. That's all I'm going to say. Is he already going to go for the move? I think he might do. I think Zingy might maybe let him go for it. He's going to lift off. He knows what he wants to do. He's going to hold on to the DRS. Zingy was ready to let him go, but he knows that he can only let him go once they're side by side. If they're not side by side, then he can't do anything about it. They're now side by side. Zingy's going to let him go, and that is going to be DRS advantage, but Gilly's to the inside. Gilly's going to fight him. He goes off the circuit. He rejoins. There's slight contact. The Ferrari. Is he through? I believe he might be. To the inside, Zingy trying to hold on with everything he can. Will he have the grip? No, he will not, Gilly. He has to back out in the end, just about maintaining the position of Zingy, but he's now had to use a load of energy to hold on to that position. Becken, he's got a lot of energy in that car. He's got track position, which is maybe not exactly what he wanted, because DRS is advantageous, as you know. He was waiting for the opportunity. He wanted Becken to get side by side, and then he dropped behind, and he did do it, but it was very, very risky, as this man, who is going to go for another attack at the AlphaTauri, he just can't quite get there at the end. Is he going to try and send it on the soft tyres? He doesn't. He doesn't. I'm really surprised at that. I'm sure he would have broke late and gone into the corner full send, but no, he doesn't. DRS available, and he's catching up yet again, going slightly defensive as Zingy, but he realises the Ferrari is going to hold off a little bit longer. That 34 to 36. Gilly has to fight this move now, otherwise it's not going to be possible. He could get DRS on the car in front, maybe fight for the win, but definitely secure a P2 because of the slipstream train. But right now, it's not going to look like it's going to work out. Nippo Jan goes and gets a little bit of compensation with that fastest lap to try and help out, but it's not going to be what they want whatsoever. Becken leads the way. We're about to start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. It's 0.6 seconds. It's not going to be easy for Zingy. He will have a severe disadvantage on the tyres. Does he have the energy advantage? He doesn't, and he's going to have to try and push because Gilly is right there. It's not going to be easy. No energy for either driver, and Becken all of a sudden has even more in his basket to help him win this Grand Prix. Gilly is going to be right there. He might have an opportunity here. He will have an opportunity. I was going to say if he broke out of DRS, but he doesn't need to do it. He's going for the move. Gilly into P2 as he overtakes Zingy in the dying stages of the Grand Prix. Lap 35 out of 36. He's got one more opportunity to catch back up and make this move. Zingy might well do so. It's not impossible. Gilly catches up. He catches up to Becken. He doesn't have the ERS, but he will have DRS and a clean shot, as the DRS available flap will not be available for Becken to use, but he has the energy to deploy, and I think it could be a very good opportunity for him to secure his first ever LSI win, not even in his own tier, in the hardest tier, against the hardest driver ever to fight against. I think it might work. Becken starts the final lap of the Grand Prix. Gilly's right there. He's waiting behind. He's got the DRS. He's got the advantage. He gets one more chance here on the DRS, on the straight into turn 4. It will be. Can he get the grip? He can. He can. He has the DRS. He doesn't have the energy to deploy. And we all know ERS is king. And now will be Becken holding on. He's got one more straight that he will be potentially vulnerable at. And that will be the final run to the line. Gilly's got pace in that car. He's got grip. He's got confidence. This is a perfect opportunity. It's just whether Becken has saved enough energy or not. He's not looking amazing. He's still looking better though. Whoever's going to do it, they're going to win their first ever race in LSI F1. Zingy's not exactly out of contention, but it's going to be very tough for him to be involved. Gilly, around the final corner. He's so close. I think he lost the car. He lost traction. That's surely going to be the race decided. That's going to be Becken coming around the final corner, and he will win the Brazilian Grand Prix. The delight in the car is absolutely epic. Gilly P2. He's not going to be happy because he wanted to win that race, but P2, Gilly, you can't deny that's pretty epic. Zingy is not going to be happy with himself, but a P3 in the end. At least he got the podium and scored the points. Peanuts P4, Devon Young in P5, Tom Blainer, and that's Nipojan, who will come around the final corner in P7. And yeah, he's not going to want to speak about this one. But he finishes the race and he does score those points. I'm just taking a moment to pause because there was a lot going on in that race and I need my voice to calm down a little bit and quieten down. That was crazy. I don't really know what to say, to be honest, but we've got a new race winner in LSI, and that is Becken. We'll wait for the podium celebration real quick just to see him for the first time on the top spot. There he is. There he is. And there is the flag waved proudly. Becken wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Gilly P2, then Zingy, Peanuts, Darren Young, Tom Brainer, and Niverjan with the fastest lap. Sidewinder and Teichler DNFing. Then we have Luke, Egapro, and PJ also following their footsteps. Race director, just in case if we need it later on. It's a difficult circuit around Interlagos for track limits. It can be tricky. And the pit stops, just in case as well. We will be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone. There you go. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the LSI F1 Championship. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Brazilian Grand Prix. That was absolutely mental. Brazil always is. It never fails to disappoint. Heischler, we start with you. A bittersweet day today. You got pole position and you won the sprint race. Very dramatically, I should say. But maybe not the way you wanted to end it. Are you still happy with the result?
Yeah, I'm still quite happy with it. I had the pace to fight in the main race as well, but just made a stupid mistake by touching the grass into the second hairpin. And from there I was at the back and I touched someone's rear and got wing damage. That's pretty much how it all happened, that I was so far behind. Safety car helped me, but then I had a little moment in turn 2 and Sidewinder hit the back of me, which made me spin, and then an unfortunate contact with Peanut, I think it was. Took me out of the race. But apart from that, I was very happy with sprint. Even though Nifu had a DSC, I still think I could have won that without him having a DSC, because Singy sent it on me at the first hairpin, which lost us a lot of time. But if he didn't do that, I would still be in Nifu's DRS, and I think I would still have had the chance to battle him for the win. So I don't really see the win as luck. It's more getting my how do we say it? Just getting it on another way.
Yep, fair enough. Well done, Heischler. It's been a long time coming, and well done. Finally here. I know it's not exactly the Grand Prix win, but it's definitely a step closer to it. So well done, well done. You need to take that. The next race, the Netherlands, your home Grand Prix. Do you like that track? Do you like the circuit? Do you have good pace there?
I'm gonna win it.
Good to know. All right.
That's just my basis of that is I got pole in VRL as well, while Singy and Flower in the and Ruleton, I think were in the lobby. So I believe I have definitely the pace to do it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Heischler. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Kinda a win.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Gilly. Gilly, that is a P2. Are you happy or maybe a bit disappointed? I'm not sure.
I am happy, but I'm a bit of an idiot because I thought the second to last lap was the final lap. So I was using all my ARS and I was like, what? There's another lap? So I probably, I reckon I could have had another go on the other straight, but no, I'll take P2.
So do you think you would have won the race?
Could have had more of a chance, but probably not because I didn't have much ERS anyway. I just used it all on the final straight, but it wasn't the final straight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, Gilly, it was very entertaining, so thank you very much. It never is boring when you're involved, so thank you. It was a great end to the race with that battle. The Netherlands, you like that circuit? It's high downforce. Is that going to play into your hands?
Yeah, I'm going to win it.
Okay. So we've got 2 race winners in 1 Grand Prix. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you guys a sprint race win.
How are you both going to fit onto the top step of the podium? That's what I'll ask.
I don't know.
All right. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Outplay Zingy.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Nifo-Jan. Nifo, I don't know what to say. You got slapped in the face once, and then you got slapped in the face again. I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to let you speak. But can you take us through that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like in quality even. It was like maybe the first time this season where I felt the limit a little bit, which I've struggled to do in the past. So it was quite a good quality. The lap that got me P2 was, it wasn't great, but Zingy helped a bit of teammate play, and and it worked out. So it was it was pretty good lap P2. I didn't want to fight Zingy too hard into T1, but I got a very good launch, got a Gijs off the start, and yeah, from then on they started fighting, so I just controlled the pace, and I was surprised that I could like hold the nerves because it has been such a long time since I've been in that position. But yeah, obviously we all saw what happened again. My Wi-Fi internet doesn't want me to win at all. So yeah, that's race gone P4 still. So I was still decent to start the race. I mean, the race went good as well. In the start, I felt like some drivers moved a little bit too much in the braking zone. I think they were dancing a little bit too late. I think he felt the atmosphere of Brazil a bit too much. But yeah, it was a bit irritating. But yeah, I lost a lot of time in that. And yeah, for the rest of the race, it was winning paces. Ziggy, obviously Devon was quite quick as well for F1.5 guy. He's definitely up there with the F1 guys. But yeah, last three starts, I go to T1 and I'm like fully ahead at some point, and I turn in, and then his like very point of his front wing touches my rear, and then we both spin. Obviously, with this game's physics, but instead of his front wing braking, we both spin. But yeah, I mean, I could have done something to avoid it as well. I don't think I'm fully in the wrong, but I don't think like I could have avoided that myself. And it's so stupid. I cost my teammate the win. I cost myself like my first good result. So it's just misery, really.
It's a hard day. I know I probably don't want to hear it, but I'm going to try and look for the positive. Like you said earlier, you've found the limit for the first time in a long time, and it was great to see you up there. So thank you very much for some great racing today. Obviously, it didn't go the way you wanted it to, but it is good to see you up the top and back where you originally were, and maybe we can see you fighting for the championship, fighting for more races, I should say, sooner rather than later, sooner than we thought, I think, this season. So well done. You should take that as a positive. The Netherlands, your home Grand Prix, do you like that circuit?
What circuit? I was spacing out, sorry.
Zandvoort.
Oh yeah, I like the track. But it was in the past a very good track for me, but I really don't know this game, so we'll go ahead and see. But if these issues continue, it's gonna be a long time before I get a good result.
Thank you very much, Nifo. I'm sorry it didn't go the way you wanted to. You should be happy with your effort, at least if that's any compensation. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we move on to Tom Brainer. Tom, that was, I'm going to say, a heck of a safety car restart. Not the way it was supposed to go, but it was still a crazy safety car restart mid-race. Can you take us through your entire race? Because that was up and down like mad.
Yeah, I knew through the sprint race that I've got the worst pace of all the drivers here today. I just could stay in DRS range pretty hard. I mean, I was on the mediums, and Becken was on the hard tire fighting with Igor, and I've barely managed to stay in. So I just thought I'd take that race as a training for tomorrow and try to get my strategy through that I would have gone anyway. Because I thought, especially at the safety car, either I pit and be the last guy track, or I stay a bit out, can use the soft as I planned it, maybe I can get the fast lap and also be the last car on the grid at the end. So it was pretty unlikely for me to get up the places, and thought, yeah, just practicing.
Fair enough. I'm not going to ask you about the next race because I'll ask you that again tomorrow. I'm going to ask, do you think this has given you a good advantage for tomorrow's race? Do you believe that you can get a good result?
Yeah, I think it's probably possible to get a better place, or with the crash at the end, at least the same place as today. But because I've got a very good middle sector on the setup, and I've got the pace on a lot tire wear. I mean, like I lost many time on the first 5-6 laps where the tires are good for all, and the tires were done, so like 30-40%. I managed to gain 2/10 on the DRS train,
Right.
which will help me tomorrow. And I learned that my setup isn't good enough on the straights. I could barely get close to someone when he's also got DRS. Sometimes I lose on the straight, so I think I will lower my wings a bit and then see how this will affect my pace tomorrow.
Well said. Well said. I'm not going to argue that one, and I wish you all the best tomorrow. I hope it goes well. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Practice for tomorrow.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort. And we move on to Zingy. Zingy, that was tough. That was very, very, very tough. Without all the safety cars, I think I know what you're going to say, but do you think you could have won that race?
Yeah. I mean, it should have been a 1-2 for AlphaTauri, realistically. Not only in the feature, but also the sprint race. I think that it was very, very unlucky from both of us to disconnect, both within, 3-4 laps of each other, whilst we were sort of controlling it out front, more from Niffle than myself, but I reckon I could have got up to P2 at least, and from what Niffle said, they would have maybe let me go depending on how the race had turned out, so it would have been a 1-2. And for the race, I mean, do I even need to speak here?
Not really.
Well, yeah, it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yep, it's a shame that it went that way. The strategy was not in AlphaTauri's favour. It was not in AlphaTauri's favour in any way, shape or form, to be honest. But what I can say is thank you very much for the good effort, thank you very much for the good battles, and thank you very much for not giving up and retiring in the pit lane as some people usually would do. So I appreciate that very, very much, and that is the positive at least to take. The Netherlands, trying to go straight away from Brazil, move on. Do you like that circuit? High downforce, not easy to overtake, so if you are in front, you might be able to hold on pretty easily. Do you think you can do that?
Well, last time Niffle was quick when we went to the Netherlands, I overtook him on the last lap, so I hope that for the entertainment's sake it goes down to that, and I am the person on the receiving end of that situation, so...
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you very
I think
much.
I can win, yeah.
I like the optimism, and I like the intent for exciting racing and not dominant racing. Thank you very much, Zingy. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Speak. I won't speak.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, thank you very much, Zingy. We'll see you next time. Well done today. And just like that, on the dot, it is almost 10 a.m. for us in the UK, 11 a.m. for you in the EU. Wherever you are, it's nearly the hour. It is the hour. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you tomorrow for the Brazilian Grand Prix for the F1.5 EU Championships. We'll see you next weekend for the Netherlands Grand Prix. Thank you again, and good night.